soccer, and I'm now doing varsity cheer, which I did not expect to do, but I am. I've been a part of St. Martin Victoria's youth group since I was in junior high, and I'm now a leader. So, pretty much growing up as a kid, I didn't really have a perfect life, and I'm sure no one really did. But my dad wasn't really around. He wasn't really the one in my family to count on. He did drugs, and he really abused alcohol a lot. He would leave for hours at a time, and when he would come back, it would only be with a paper bag in his hand. I'm sure most of you know what that means. I wouldn't see him for maybe 2 weeks at a time, and maybe once or twice in that week. So when someone takes drugs, there's a period of time when they're coming down, and it's where their mind and soul isn't where they actually are, and it really isn't who they are. My dad was very abusive. He was very physically and vocally abusive to my mom and I, and it really wasn't that fun. I would spend the night at friends' houses during the week to escape this problem, but it didn't really get out of my head. It was always in my thoughts, and I was always really angry. So at that time, I fell into a really dark and depressed stage of my life. I was really angry at God, like, why would he put this in my life? Why would, God make my dad this person? Why would my dad be doing this to his little girl? And it was not a fun stage of my life. And this lasted for probably before I was born and up until maybe freshman year, sophomore year of high school. Freshman year, all of you know, if you guys are into freshman year right now, have already been, it's a tough year. You're trying to get involved, you're trying to make friends, you're trying to be the person that God wants you to be. And it was really difficult for me because I could not be that person. I was angry, I was upset, I was depressed. I did not want to talk to anyone, especially not God. I was angry. And so I tried to plead to my dad. I even wrote him a letter and I delivered it to him, and he didn't answer. He left for months at a time, sometimes didn't come back. I pleaded. I was like, Dad, come on, you know this isn't good for you. You know this isn't right, and why are you doing this? And every time I asked him, he would just brush me off and put me to the side, and it was hurtful because I thought that my dad would be the one there for me, and he wasn't. I was really worried that he would end up 6 feet under and not around anymore. So I kind of realized that this whole pleading and begging to my dad wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to change him. And another thing, I really tried to change him. I tried to put this mentality onto him that, hey Dad, what you're doing isn't right. It never worked. So I put all that energy and all that pressure to changing him into changing myself. I started going to church. I started talking to my friends more. I started just fixing everything I could in my life. I got really good grades. I got first honors both my freshman and sophomore year. I became ASB president. I became captain of my varsity soccer team, and I just excelled in everything I did. And it helped because I had all this anger towards God that turned into thankfulness towards God because I thanked him for putting someone like this in my life to make me stronger. I learned that through this hardship, I can't control what everyone does, especially not my dad, and I can't control what his actions do and how they affect me. I found this quote. It's kind of long. It's a mixture of passages. I was on Twitter one night, and I was just thinking about this talk, and I was like, I need to quote something that might connect to, all of you guys. So it's, trust me and refuse to worry, for I am your strength and your song. You are feeling wobbly today, looking at difficult times ahead, and measuring them to your own strengths. However, they are not today's tasks, nor tomorrow's. So leave them and come home to God, where you will find him waiting. Keep bringing your mind back to the present. When the hope of heaven fills your thoughts, the light will envelop you. As you walk in the light with God, you have 1 foot on earth and 1 foot in heaven. So this quote really spoke out to me because as you walk through your life journey like we've been talking about, you really have 1 foot here and 1 foot in heaven. You're living the life for yourself and you're living the life for God that God wants you to live. And so I know everyone right here is probably going through something, whether it's an addiction, whether it's choosing wrong friends, whether it's partying too much, whether it's falling into peer pressure, whether it's maybe you're not getting the best grades right now. Everyone is going through something. And whether it's big or small, or if it's right now, or if it was in the past, or in the future, everyone will go through something. And so there's going to be things that you can control. Like I controlled my grades. You can control your grades. You control you. You control what actions you do, who you surround yourself with, who the people that you are, or who the people you surround yourself will tell you who you are. Like I said, a lot of you will be going through some type of hardship. And God will never give you something you cannot handle. He put you in a position like He put me in a position. You will learn from it and you will grow in it. It teaches you something so much more than just depression. It teaches you how to get back up. And it teaches you how to follow in Him and follow in His footsteps. He is powerful and He is brilliant. And most of all, He will be there for you no matter what. And if you just let Him take you and just, that song Jesus gave, or take the wheel, if you just let Him take the wheel for you, it is amazing. I was listening to a song one time, and it was that song, and I was sitting there, and I was driving home, and I was just, Jesus, take this wheel from me, take it and give anything you want. Let me do anything I can to help you. You know, I didn't go on this journey alone either. I went on it with a couple of good friends. I know Andrew had spoke about Camp Emmaus, and so I made, those people are my life right now. They are my support system, and my youth group is my support system. Find that support system in your life, and find God as that support system. Oftentimes, I did not feel God present, and I did not feel like I really wanted Him to be present. But when I opened up my heart, and I had this thing, I know Mrs. Skinner and I talked about it. It was, just give it up to God. And I do this little hand thing, I'm just going to give it up to God and let Him take it. And it really helps. So I encourage you all to just, with any hardship that you're going through, anything, just give it up to God and let Him take it. And I promise you that it's going to take you to the best place you've ever been. Because right now I'm on that Jesus high and I'm not trying to take me down from it. So we need to try to fix the things we can fix, and the things that we cannot fix, like all of our worries and hardships, I really encourage you to just give it up to God. Thank you.